What's going on, good people? I'm going to do this video on what happened at Diddy, the whole raid on his homes. But I actually have to start off with this talk about the bridge that collapsed in Baltimore. If you don't know about it, here's a clip.
News that you started with, Matt, overnight in Baltimore, Maryland. A portion of the Francis Scott Key Bridge has collapsed. You see what happened down into the harbor. That large boat collided with the bridge around 1:30 this morning. That just sent the span rippling down into those freezing waters below. Authorities are trying to rescue at least 7 people who were doing overnight work on the bridge. They're believed to have been tossed into the waves. Fire crews say several vehicles hit the water, including one the size of a tractor trailer. Hoping people were able to get out of their vehicles when they got into the water. Divers have been dispatched into the water for what is now being called a dire mass casualty incident.
Apparently, what had happened, from what is being reported, the ship that was going under the bridge, power went out and bumped into a column, and you see the bridge just collapsed. And 8 people were working overnight to fill in the potholes on the bridge, and 2 of them were found, and there's 6 still missing. So prayers to the family of those individuals and all the people who were actually involved in this crazy freak accident. But it was kind of symbolic because this bridge is actually named after Francis Scott Key, is the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And if you don't know who Francis Scott Key is, he is the man that is credited for writing the Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem for our country. And the bridge that bore his name collapsed. Can't make this stuff up because we already know what's going on in America. But let's go to the main topic for today, is what happened with Diddy. Diddy's homes were raided because he's being tied into, I guess, sex trafficking. And the Department of Homeland Security decided to perform these raids.
Local story right now in the raid on Sean Diddy Combs' L.A. residence by federal agents. This is a story that we broke here on Fox 11.
Mario Ramirez is outside of his Holmby Hills home right now with the latest developments for us. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Quiet right now, but it was a chaotic scene with federal agents rushing into the home here behind me. There were 2 separate raids, one here in this upscale neighborhood, the other in Miami, both connected to a federal sex trafficking investigation. Take a look. Fox 11 was the first to show you the raid here locally, led by Homeland Security, heavily armored federal agents making their way into the home on Mapleton Drive, associated with rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs and his production company, Bad Boy Films. Dozens of agents searched the property for hours, leaving with boxes of evidence. A similar scene at the Miami Beach property listed in his name as well. The properties raided in connection to a sex trafficking investigation, although Department of Homeland Security officials haven't named Diddy as the focus. The 54-year-old has been at the center of several sexual assault and sex trafficking allegations in the last year. That's something Variety's executive music editor has been covering extensively. Listen.
Been rumors like this for years, for decades, about this kind of behavior from him. I don't know whether they're true or not. Yes, he could be an unpleasant person. That is widely available on video. A lot of really successful people can be. Innocent until proven guilty, one would hope.
And you can see him here, this video from TMZ showing the hip-hop producer pacing outside of a customs office at a Miami airport after the properties were raided. And this was also after he was reportedly stopped and questioned by federal agents moments before.
I want to make this perfectly clear. I believe if you're sex trafficking anyone, if you're human trafficking anyone, you should be put under the jail. You are worse than scum. You are a soulless bastard. But I want to say this. I find it kind of funny that certain individuals who are being accused of doing something decades ago are now in trouble with the law. I mean, not even the state law. This is the Department of Homeland Security. That means the federal government is getting involved because of allegations from decades ago. And also, we know Diddy did pay out Cassie. And also with the gay allegations, even though if you want to be a homosexual, you can be a homosexual. But it's always the black man, for some reason, that's getting in trouble with stuff like this. Same way that it did with Bill Cosby. Even though everyone in Hollywood knew about Bill Cosby and they could have did something then, but decided not to because he was a high earner. But let's think about it. Someone like Jeffrey Epstein, who everyone and their mama knew was sex trafficking kids and had a whole island called Pedo Island. What happened to him? Well, they arrested him finally, and then he quote unquote committed suicide, breaking his neck in 2 different spots while the camera was off and the guards were asleep. That's kind of crazy how that happens. But yet, his ledger, his little black book with everyone else's name in it, including presidents, which we already know there's only one black president, and the royal family, which we already know don't have any black people in it. Their names are mentioned in it, but yet nobody is trying to investigate that. And also, it's kind of funny that the federal government sends Department of Homeland Security to raid his homes to try to say they're tough on sex trafficking. But at the same time, we know for a fact at the southern border, these people are being trafficked all day. I mean, literally, they have trees where they hang little girls' panties just to say, yeah, we were over here with these individuals. This is the rape tree. It's happening at the southern border all the time, but the Department of Homeland Security is not doing anything about it. They chose to raid the home of a music mogul. If Diddy did it, lock him up, throw away the key, especially if it's within the statutes of limitations. But if you're just doing this, and I mean, if the Joe Biden administration is just doing this just to get cool points instead of actually doing something about human trafficking at the southern border, which would help tremendously since it's a multi-billion-dollar business, I mean, it just kind of seems like it's just a stunt, really. But that's all I have for you today. I'm your host, TJ Evans, with another installment of the TJ Evans Show. Please comment down below and tell me, what do you think? Do you think Diddy did it, or do you think that he didn't do it? And how do you feel about the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsing? Isn't it rather symbolic? And also, do you think Joe Biden and his administration are really trying to crack down on sex trafficking, or is this just a stunt just to say that they're actually doing something instead of actually doing something at the southern border? Also, I want to know if you were one of those conspiracy theorists who knew about what was going on in Hollywood, in the music industry, pretty much in the entertainment industry as a whole, because the evidence was there. Like, it was already there. I mean, me personally, I knew about this way before the Me Too thing happened. I mean, I knew about Jeffrey Epstein. I knew about Harvey Weinstein. I knew about what was going on in the rap industry. And honestly, the only reason why I had to play the race card in this particular situation is because Diddy had his little issue with the lawsuit with his liquor company. They didn't like that he was trying to sue him. And after that, allegations started coming out, and now a raid happened on his home. Well, like I said, I'm your host, TJ Evans, with another installment of the TJ Evans Show. Y'all remember, do the YouTube and Rumble thing. Subscribe to the Royals Family Studios page. Check out my book on Amazon, The Diary of Marvin Dwayne. Also, go check out my homeboy's restaurant if you're in the Atlanta area. Order you some food from No Chicks Allowed, and that's Chicks with an X. Y'all remember, do your own research. Don't take my word for gold. Y'all stay safe, stay prayed up, especially over this nation. Peace.